If you'll introduce yourself, give us what district you're running for, and a quick 1 minute, 1.5 minute introduction.
So my name is Jonathan Snyder. I'm candidate for Metro Council of District 11. I am a Republican candidate, and my big initiatives include supporting small business, improving our community infrastructure, prioritizing public safety, and bringing efficiency to Baton Rouge. A little bit about me: I am the executive pastor of Antioch Baton Rouge, and so I oversee our operations, our staffing, and our budgeting. And then I also own Pelican Janitorial, so a janitorial company here in town. And my kind of big push as a candidate is I want to see efficiency brought back to local government. I think in all the things I named. So whether you think about small businesses or you think about our infrastructure, you think about safety, so many of those things come back to a lack of efficiency when you look at our budget as a whole of East Baton Rouge Parish. For those of you who aren't aware, our budget makes up about $1 billion we spend as East Baton Rouge Parish. And whenever I think about things like infrastructure, so many people complain about our roads and even our drainages. And so often it's East Baton Rouge Parish. We've done a great job of saying yes to projects one time, but we haven't done a great job of allocating money towards maintenance and things of that nature. So we'll say yes once, but then down the road, there's not money allocated to keep those things up. So whenever you think about, like I said, drainages, you talk to engineers and they say, hey, you live in Louisiana, some of the issues you have are gonna, you live on swamp, you live on marsh, some of the issues are gonna happen. But if you spend the money to have the one-time fix, but then also spend money on maintenance, those issues can be resolved. And so just as a candidate, I want to look at our budget and get really efficient. As East Baton Rouge Parish, we've grown as a city. And with that, we've hired more and more people. But I personally, and I think for most people, we haven't seen efficiency on a local level. And so I want to help bring that change.
Corey Smith, your progressive candidate for Metro Council District 6. My mission is simple. I want to create more jobs for the city of Baton Rouge. Right now, we outsource a lot of workers, from construction workers, engineers, architects, you name it. We bring in a lot of these people to build our city projects when we have those talents here in the city of Baton Rouge. Once I'm elected, I'm going to work with our local business owners, show them how to become vendors with the city, show them how to properly bid on city contracts. I'm going to write an ordinance that prioritizes our home-based businesses in that bidding process and just encourage them to hire locally. Because most people out here that's committing crime, they're not doing it because they're bad people. Most people are committing crimes because they're trying to provide for their families. And I'm just trying to be that council member that goes into the community, show them how to do just that, provide for their families. So I just ask for your support. I'm number 113 on your ballot.
My name is Cleve Dunn Jr., candidate for Metro Council District 6. Let me thank Exxon for this opportunity, for giving us this platform before you, your staff, and your employees. Look, my platform is simple. It's about economic development, specifically inclusion and diversity in the procurement process and the hiring process throughout city parish government. I've served on the Airport Commission for the past 7 years, past 2 years as chairperson, and we've done a great job revamping what we do at the airport and make sure everything is inclusive and diversity. We've changed our administration, made sure we have a more progressive administration that made sure everything we did, from sponsorships to the hiring process to the procurement process, is done with the people of Baton Rouge in mind, and make sure that everybody we do business with look like the demographics of the parish. So I would continue that work on the Metro Council level. Also, I want to, specific to District 6, I want to bring a community center to District 6. If you look at all of the rural and urban districts, all of them have a community center. Community centers like the Leo Butler Center, like the MLK Center, have bridged the gap to access to social services and healthcare. And we don't have one in District 6. District 6 started off as a middle class to upper middle class white district, but now the demographics have shifted over the past 15 to 20 years, and it's a 65% African American district. There are some unique needs, some barriers to transportation and access there that community centers can bridge the gap to. Also, in 2016, we had a great flood, and it flooded many residents in Baton Rouge. We have to address our flood and drainage issues. We need a comprehensive plan to do that, not just one time, as the gentleman said before me, but that routine maintenance to make sure that we don't have backups. We need to attack that aggressively. I think this administration and the council did a good job with Move EBR addressing our infrastructure needs from roads and bridges, but we need to do something similar to that to address our drainage and floodage issues so we can protect our property. those are some things I'm passionate about. I'm also focused on bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community and making sure that we do what we can to build more of a rapport there to keep our communities and our neighborhoods safe. Again, I'm Cleve Dunn Jr., candidate for Metro Council District 6.
In advocacy work in East Baton Rouge Parish now for more than 8 years. And I wholeheartedly believe that my advocacy work prepares me to be an effective Metro Council member. Particularly at this time, there's a myriad of serious issues confronting our parish, one of which is the proposal to incorporate the new city of St. George, which I think would cause great economic harm to the residents of District 12 as well as the parish as a whole. And I do believe I can be an effective spokesperson to protect the interest of the entire parish. But you can read about those issues and others on my website. Today I wanted to take an opportunity to address another matter, which is the fact that during my advocacy work, I have been pointedly critical of Exxon. And I wanted to acknowledge that and speak to you about it. You can read about that too on my website in the blog section. But the fact is that I know some people believe that their best interests are perfectly aligned with their employers, but I don't see it that way. I think the fact is that people are not always just employees, they're also residents in the community. And when we do the best for the community, they benefit as well. And it's very important to me that they can speak to me about the issues. When you're an employee of a company, you may not be able to push it to do the right thing. We know that business and industry sometimes need a little push to do what's best for the community as a whole and not just for their bottom line. Employees can't always give them that push, but that's where I come in. I can give Exxon that little push it needs. And as if I'm elected, then I can advocate on your behalf. So as an old English teacher, I pride myself on doing my research on serious issues. I read from a variety of sources. I listen to a variety of perspectives, and I consider constituents one of those valuable sources. So I hope you know you can reach out to me and speak to me. I will look forward to that. Thank you.
I am Dawn Shanae Collins, a current school board member, a mother, a GG to my grandson. I am a small business owner, and I am, of course, a candidate for Metro Council District 6. I'm running for Metro Council because the neighborhood I moved into 16 years ago as a mother of small children is not the same neighborhood that it was then. And so I have watched disinvestment and decline in my area and have been inspired to run for office to make that change. In fact, Metro Council was the first office I ever wanted to run for. And so I have a strong, proven track record of getting things done. In my service as a school board member, I have brought millions of dollars of resources to my district, a district that had previously been neglected and under-resourced in terms of dollars and programming, everything from diverse magnet school offerings to aquaponics programming, language immersion, infrastructure repairs. My vision for District 6 is not just to repair the disinvestment, but to bring District 6 to the next level. And District 6 is in a prime position to be a beacon in the city of Baton Rouge and help attract, not just empower our small local businesses, but also be a source of tourism in the area. And I have the proven track record of getting things done, and I can work with partners like Exxon and other community stakeholders to make it happen. Thank you.
Okay. In my district, every voice will be counted. I've given thought to as why I have the desire to represent District 7. Then it came to me that the same motivation that led me to become an educator is the same motivation that I have to lead this district. I enjoy helping people, and as an educator and advocate for young minds, I understand how important it is to help each other in the community in order for it to thrive. If elected, I will demonstrate the same passion, faith, and devotion that was called upon me every day of my life as an educator. My name is Tawana Smith, and I'm a candidate for Metro Council District 7, and I've lived in the district for 59 years. As a third-generation resident of the district and a product of the public schools in the community, my efforts as a councilwoman would center on serving all of the people of District 7, a district where no one is no more important than the other. District 7 consists of hardworking families that deserve a safe and desirable place to live. And you may be asking if I'm qualified to lead the district. It's my duty to be responsive and receptive to all needs of the district. And again, in District 7, every voice will be counted. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Pamela Smith, a candidate for Metro Council District 6. I am a 26-year resident of District 6. I am an alumni of Southern University. I presently serve as the president of Forest Oak Windsor Place Homeowners Association. I also currently serve as legislative assistant to Councilwoman Donna Collins Lewis. I have served in that position for 11 and a half years. I am the executive director of the Nicholas Smith Educational Foundation. Been that for the last 11 years. That's a back to school giveaway informational program. My goal and plan is to continue addressing the issues and concerns which affect my District 6 neighbors, as well as East Baton Rouge Parish. My platform is blight elimination, economic development, infrastructure. I have worked for Councilwoman Lewis for the last, again, 11 and a half years, and have watched her and been interactive with all the constituents in District 6, and I will continue to do so. I have always been known as, if you want the job done, Pam is the one. That's from my constituents. So I will continue to be a voice for District 6. My name again is Pamela Smith, and I'm number 114 on the ballot. Thanks.
Good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Wendell Piper. I'm a candidate for District 8. I'm a Democrat, the only Democrat in the race for District 8. I ran for this office for Metro Council in 2016. I am back again to offer myself as a servant for the district, but not only for the district, for the whole city and parish. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Shreveport, but I've been in Baton Rouge 20 years. I went to Southern University. I graduated in 2003 and 2006. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina happened, and that started my career in disaster recovery. Initially, I worked for the Governor's Office of Homeland Security for 7 years. I traveled the entire state. Then I went to go work for FEMA and as a contractor, and now I'm a private business owner, small business owner, and I have clients in Florida, as well as I'm helping Cameron Parish out from Hurricane Laura. I have a lot of experience in rebuilding communities. Someone mentioned, I think it was Mr. Dunn, about the Great Flood in 2016, played a very instrumental part in that. As well as New York, Texas. I've traveled the entire state and the entire country helping people after times of disasters. Again, my name is Wendell Piper, District 8. New generation of leadership. That is my slogan. And I think I can bring balance to the board, especially coming from my district. I feel like this race is, in my district, is very important to the layout and the makeup of the council. And if I'm elected, I think I can bring that balance, as well as, hopefully, change the structure as things tend to go down party lines, and we can bring some great things to Baton Rouge. Again, my name is Wendell Piper, candidate District 8.
Hi, my name is Jamie Robinson. I am a candidate for Metro Council District 7. The reason I'm running for Metro Council District 7 is very simple. It is to bring opportunities back to District 7 for our young people, our hardworking citizens who go to work every day to provide for their families, and also our senior citizens that live throughout my district and have the intentions of living their best lives at their age in a safe environment. I'm running on the simple principles of offering fresh, bold, bipartisan leadership to the council. I plan to work with council members, no matter your age, no matter your race, no matter your party, and engage in healthy conversation that will bring opportunities to District 7, the same opportunities that are extended throughout the parish in other higher income, family-oriented districts. I'm running so that young people can have safe and engaging entertainment outlets in their communities where they live, where we live, so they won't have to go outside of our communities to engage in activities. My name is Jamie Robinson. I'm number 119 on your ballot, and I look forward to your support.
Good afternoon to everyone. I want to thank everyone for offering yourself up for service. This work we do at the City Council is not easy, and I want to thank Exxon for the opportunity to speak with you as well as the employees there today. My name is Lamont Cole. I currently serve as the Metro Councilman for District 7. I am also a 24-year educator. Ms. Nyman, I am also a former English teacher myself, so I understand grading papers and reading a lot. We're running for office in 2016. We made some promises, promised 7 things to the constituents of District 7 around healthy food options, high quality public schools, a modern healthcare facility, diverse economic development, opportunities to address crime and ways to connect the district, and then an equity infrastructure. And so of the 7 areas we promised in 2016, we were able to accomplish growth in all 7 of the areas. And in addition to that, we were able to pass 8 pieces of legislation that I think not only helped the district, but helped the city around legislation to decriminalize marijuana. We passed legislation to have the first needle exchange program for intravenous drug users so they could get treatment. We passed legislation to create a smoke-free Baton Rouge. We passed legislation to create a free bicycle registration program. We created guidelines for the industrial tax exemption program. We created legislation for blight elimination, which started and kicked off the blight elimination program underneath the mayor's leadership. We also did a citywide beautification program around the Struma High School. We brought a Struma High School back online. We built a brand new Park Elementary. So we've been able to accomplish a great deal in a short period of time, and I'm running for office to continue that work. Priority number 1 on the list is we have to do something to address the drainage infrastructure. Back in 2005, we had a thriving DPW department that was working to clean ditches, clean canals, and make sure we freed our waterways of debris so that we didn't have the type of backup that we have now. And so we want to work with the leadership and the administration to ensure that we're able to identify areas where we can trim the budget and then put people to work and then begin the process of making sure we maintain those waterways. We want to do something to address crime. I'm very proud over a 4-year period, we've been able to secure 417 new businesses in District 7 to the tune of 800 new jobs in the area. And so we want to just run to continue those efforts, continue that work. And I look forward to the opportunity. I'm Lamont Cole, District 7, number 117 on the ballot, and looking forward to a very, very robust and diverse conversation here today.
I know we have a lot to talk about. So our first question, we have between our employees and our contractors over 6,000 people, and not to mention their families and other community members we're associated with. So as a future leader, how do you plan to engage the citizens to help with some challenges like blight or crime or quality education? And I'll start with Mr. Schneider.
Yeah, I think one thing that we have to realize as a council as a whole, so we've got 12 of us, and just realizing that so often we're voting based on party, voting Republican, voting Democrat, and you see that tension happening so often. And what we really have to do as a council is come together and say, hey, I'm not in this for my party, but I'm in this for the city of Baton Rouge. And so, yeah, I mean, some of the things, we've talked about them already, but looking at our infrastructure concerning drainages and even our roadways, that has to get better. And it can't just be for my district, District 11, but it's got to happen for all districts. We have to say, hey, as a whole, as East Baton Rouge Parish, how can we come together? And even just looking a little bit at my experience, executive pastor at a church, and so work with multiple people. And then also just even thinking about growing up, my background, my mom's white, my dad's black, and I've had to bridge that gap for so often in my life. I'm working with people of different cultures and seeing what's best for the common good. I think so often we're thinking about me, my, and I, and we've got to think about what's best for everyone. So in regards to, drainages, for instance, like I said earlier, we've got to make sure that we're looking at the budget and saying, do we have proper dollars allocated, not just for this year, but for the future. We've got to be thinking about future generations for our city. I even think when people think about our school systems and think our blight even, we've got to, once again, be in this thing together and say what's best for the common good. And so much, in my opinion, comes down to budgeting and in the current inefficiencies in that. And I'd love as a council for everyone to come together and say, hey, how can we move the ball forward in these issues? Things like blight, things like our drainage, things like our roadways. How can we move the ball forward together and not just for our districts? Because so often you see right now, these districts are kind of fighting one another and Republicans, Democrats. But if we're truly going to make progress in this city, it's going to take us coming together for the, like I said, I keep saying this, but for the common good. And so I really want to look at advancing the ball that way. And I'm, here's where I'm at. I am down for a good debate with people. I'm down to argue even back and forth on issues. But at the end of the day, if we can make progress as a city, that's where I see us winning.
All right, appreciate that, and thank you for sticking to 2 minutes. I appreciate that. Next up, we have Mr. Corey Smith. Let's see.
Yes, ma'am. Can you repeat the question for me?
Yes. So with all the 6,000 employees and contractors in the area, we want to, how would you engage on some of the things like blight, the challenges that Baton Rouge is facing, like blight and crime and education? So as a future leader, how do you plan to engage the citizens?
Well, first off, just working with the homeowners, the property owners. I know the mayor has started a blight elimination program initiative. However, it hasn't expanded so much into my district, especially in the Mall City area. Me just walking in the district and talking with the people who live there, blight is a big problem and is a hub for crime. I tell my constituents all the time that we must address the blight issue if we want to attract new businesses into our district, because business owners are not going to bring in new businesses where the area is not appealing. The roads need to be fixed, the infrastructure needs to be repaired, and it's so many other things. So me as the next councilman, I'm just gonna host more town hall meetings, talk with the residents who's affected by the issues that's going on in the district. As a teacher, I teach students whose family are affected the most by the disparities of the opportunities offered in my district. So I just look forward to fighting on behalf of the families in District 6.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Next, I have Mr. Dunn. I think you're unmuted. Yep, there you go.
Yes. As far as approach to reaching out to the constituents, I'm a firm believer in advocacy and service. You have to meet the people where they are. I know oftentimes as elected officials, we have an office, whether it's City Hall or whether that's the state capitol in the state, but you have to get out of those silos and get out into the neighborhoods, into the communities, and meet people in their neighborhood, on their block, at their homes. That's how my campaign has been run, in the streets, connecting with people, grassroots. So that's how I would govern as a grassroots leader. I'm committed to holding what I call councilman corners throughout the district and hearing directly from the people on a consistent basis. If I'm elected, I will be the representative, but I won't have the capacity to be everywhere. So I need the constituents to work in harmony with me to give me the feedback. I always say God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we should use that accordingly. So we should listen to the people. We shouldn't always be the dictator and the talker. So we should get the information from the people to find out what is ailing them, what is concerning them, and the issues they want us to address. That will be the approach. Specifically as it relates to blight, we have too many homes, too many properties on our adjudicated rolls. One of the challenges is many of these properties are heir properties, and you're trying to locate all the heirs and get them on one page to move things forward. We need to look at best practices around the country, how to speed this process up, how to eliminate that backlog that's on the rolls, and get these properties in the hands of investors and people who live or are from these neighborhoods to put those properties back into commerce. I'm a real estate investor myself. We've renovated many homes in North Baton Rouge and gotten them back into commerce. There's a wave of people, young folks that are looking to do this work, that are doing this work. We need to, as a city government, partner with young, old, and construction people that want to do this work and put these properties back into commerce and clear this blighted road. It's a backlog. It's causing issues. As Corey said, it's a hub for crime. So we need to address this issue, and we need to do it fast. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Dunn. Next up, we have Ms. Nyman. I think you're on mute. There you go.
Good afternoon. Thanks. Yeah, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about how blight, crime, education, it has to do with the inequitable investment in the parish and how that's related to St. George. So the only reason that the proposal to create a new city in the unincorporated area came about was because of changes made to our plan of government in the late 80s and early 90s that allowed for investment in the unincorporated area using city revenue in the unincorporated area to build up the infrastructure that then allowed for that population growth. So that's what created that inequitable investment. And now with the proposal to create the new city, there is going to be the possibility of that inequity only exacerbated. So the first thing we need to do is prevent the creation of that city. And then if the courts don't see, I do think that there is a clear indication that it's going to cause the entire parish great economic harm, and certainly those of us who are within city limits, great economic harm. District 12 only has one precinct that is outside of the city limits, that's within St. George. So that has to be addressed. But if the courts decide that it can be incorporated, then we need to make sure that that inequity isn't exacerbated. We need to make sure they pay their fair share on legacy costs, on bonded indebtedness, and that they dang sure pay for their fair market value for the infrastructure that the city helped build up and fund. And so if we don't address that, that is the most pressing issue. If we don't address that, if we don't raise awareness about that among people, then we are going to be behind the curve in our ability to address all of the problems that crop up with blight, crime, and education, which all has to do with about inequity and investment. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Ms. Dawn Collins.
Okay, so how to engage citizens on blight and crime. I have a long history of community advocacy. Before I got on the school board 4 short years ago, I have been a community advocate for about 12 years now, and have spent much of that time building coalitions across the state on different issues important to community. That way of approaching matters also translates to how I have operated on the school board. I have formed what we call the Urban Oaks Community Coalition, where we bring together diverse stakeholders from neighborhood association leaders to small business owners and school building leaders, parents, to wrap around the schools in our neighborhoods, find opportunities for partnership, and then actually get to the work of partnering, whether it's Voices of Faith doing tutoring at Greenbrier Elementary or what have you. So I have the experience, the demonstrated experience of engaging community, and that's exactly what I would do to address blight. Another key thing about blight in particular is that a great deal of blight is actually, a good portion of blight is actually property owned by the city parish. And so then we need to figure out ways to address that as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Ms. Tawana Smith. Should be unmuted now.
Yes. First of all, public safety will be my top priority in my district. I will use my experience being familiar with the district to strengthen relationship with law enforcement. So to ensure that they have the proper resources to prevent crime, of course, and effective training to build a more cohesive relationship. Because I think of a lot of data that has been put out has been very negative, and I've been trying to change what that looked like in my district. And also, as far as blight, I've canvassed that area that I grew up 59 years ago, and I see a difference in that community. There's a lot of blighted property in that community that can be used for different things to attract youth. Our partnership with a lot of businesses in the community, and I've been speaking with them on a weekly basis, and they are interested in some of the blighted property to make affordable housing in our community. That would be an asset for our children, because as a teacher at a school that is inner city, what I find is children are usually start at one school, and by the end of the year, they've gone to 4 or 5 schools. And I don't think that the parents of these children are doing this because they like to move. It's because of affordable housing. And if there's enough blighted property and enough investors in the community, I feel that we can have a safe environment for our children to grow and learn. Where I went to Eden Park from pre-K to 5th, and you build relationships. It's hard to build a relationship in a community when you are bounced around from place to place. And as far as the crime in the community, that's where we will engage the police officers, where it would be police friendly. A policeman that knows the demographics of the area. As a child growing up in the park, as we used to call it, which is a part of District 7, we always saw a lot of minorities. All of our policemen, the policemen during that time, were our counterparts. And as a matter of fact, it brings about issues sometimes because you're not understanding what the demographics are of your community. And I just think if that would take a look back, just as I am a part of that community, you tend to love and understand what goes on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Next up, we have our next Ms. Smith, Ms. Pamela Smith. I think you hit the button. Let me unmute you again. There you go.
Hi, Rory. I commit to working on creating a written bipartisan agenda with the members of the council, the mayor's office, ExxonMobil, and other businesses, as well as my District 6 neighbors. I've heard the concerns for the last 11 and a half years. Crime, missed garbage, drainage, blighted properties, and have been in the ditches. I have been on properties. I have been working along with Councilwoman Lewis, and I will continue to fight for the District 6 community to improve our neighborhoods.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Piper.
All right, good afternoon again. First part of the question is listening to the citizens. It shouldn't be hard to come up with, what your agenda will be, because if you listen to the citizens, they'll tell you what the issues are. They'll tell you what they want to see. They'll tell you what they feel needs to be changed. And that's who we represent. Also, to get them involved, I know as far as me and my campaign, we're knocking doors and we're listening to the people. We're canvassing hard. It's great to put out signs. It's great to send mailers, but it's that interaction that you get when you talk to someone. Now, I represent, or I will hopefully represent, District 8, which is a lot of Coursey Boulevard, Sherwood, O'Neill, Millerville. So my area has some blight, but it's not greatly impacted as some of the other communities or some of the other districts are. But what I tell people is, although I represent District 8, I'm a vote. I'm a member of the council if elected, and I would support the other districts. It's not just about District 8, it's about East Baton Rouge Parish. As far as other issues as drainage, we have to look at typically, these types of projects that I've written grants for and millions of dollars, they come in phases. You have a study phase or plan phase where you have to do architectural engineering drawings to get it ready. And then you have a construction phase. So we need to move now. The time is now. If you're talking about any kind of drainage, H&H studies, hydraulic to study the movement of water. This is things that I deal with daily, and helping communities and cities and states recover. So I'm very familiar with that. So these are the types of things that, you know, I want to bring to the council again, that it's not just about my district that might be, you know, better off or worse off in this particular area, but it's about working together and bringing that balance, as I stated in my introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Piper. We have two more for this question, and then I see Mr. Pitcher joined us, and we'll introduce him after Lamont and Jamie give their answers. So, Jamie?
Thank you. Yes, so I will work to reestablish something within our community that our community has lost. And one, that's hope for the future, and two, that's faith in our elected officials. You know, as I've been canvassing and meeting people and listening to the concerns that my constituents have within our community and how they want to see their councilman act on their behalf, I think that it's very important that we continue to do that even after we're elected, having these healthy conversations, staying in the streets, talking to our constituents. We have to remain available to the people who elected us. We have to make them feel heard. And making them feel heard is not only listening to them, but it's also acting upon their grievances. And that's what I commit to doing. And I believe those are the first steps to engaging our community to stand with elected officials against blight, against crime, and in enhancing the community's future for our young people, giving them something to believe in. And when you speak of attacking blight, and when you speak of attacking crime, before you can do that, you have to have opportunities within our communities that's available to the people that we represent. When you speak of jobs that have become established within our community, it has to be jobs that offer livable wages and generous benefits, because people cannot invest something that they do not have. We have to, they have to have something before they can take back blight and stand against crime.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. And Mr. Cole.
Thank you for the question. Great question. I think when we think about blight and crime, and we think about how to engage families around how to address those issues, number one, we have to be bold in our efforts, because when we start talking about crime and blight, it directly links back to what type of education young people are receiving at schools, which then leads to people leaving the area, which leads to the blight, which then leads to the crime. And so we have to be extremely aggressive in terms of making sure every child in the school is receiving the type of education he or she deserves and we want to see. What we've done, I work for an organization called CSAL Inc., and what we've done, we operate 4 schools in North Baton Rouge. 3 of the schools are high performing. One just opened this year, so I can assure you it will be high performing as well. And in addition to doing that, we started to purchase some of the blighted property in the area, put it back into commerce by allowing the kids who work in the school work on the properties in the area, and then make those property affordable for the families who live in the area so they can be proud of the community. One of the things we have to do as a city parish, as a council, we have to look at the eminent domain clause of the Fifth Amendment and figure out how do we change the law so that we can then purchase the property from the property owner, put it back into commerce for good use. All of the blighted property we see around the city of Baton Rouge that is personal and private owned property is property that perhaps could be used for public good. But first we have to identify what that is, work on the legal legislation so that we can do that legally, and then put that property back into commerce. And then every day we listen to the families who live in the district based on whether or not they attend the schools, or we're out in the community talking to them at various events, or the community conversations we've had over the last 4 years.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And like I said, Mr. Pitcher joined us a little late, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Let us know what district you're running for. And the question that we've been answering, I'll give to you again. So with the 6,000 employees and contractors we have at ExxonMobil and others out in the community, how will you as a future leader better engage the citizens to help with challenges like blight, quality education, crime?
Yes, my name is Reginald Pitcher, candidate for Metro Council District 6. Basically, what I've done so far is canvass the district from one end to the other. And what I found is that the district is made up of a complex mixture of different types of environments. We have inner city, we have suburban, we have industrial, we have urban. And in each area, there's unique and significant problems that are germane to that area of the district. In the Bel Air area, they need jobs, job training, economic development. Of course, in Broadmoor area, they're more concerned about drainage and their property values going down. Industrial area, of course, they're concerned about bringing businesses back, economic development, particularly for small and minority businesses. In the Mall City area, of course, we're looking at elimination of crime, giving more economic opportunities in terms of jobs, job training, and job placement. My primary concern right now is to continue to talk to the people who live in these areas, get their opinions, get their thoughts, get their needs and desires. And I plan to do that by holding quarterly town hall meetings, by appointing different committees within each area, sort of like a community development within a district. And I found that most of the people who I've spoken to who have been in the district for several years did not really know who their council person was. So I want to make sure that that does not happen. I want to keep the line of communication open there, that calls are being answered in a timely manner. We have drainage problems here that have persisted since 2016. That should not happen. The canals are not maintained and not cut. That should not happen. The area between the business corridor between Foster Drive and Sherwood Forest has, for the most part, been dormant. That should not happen. The mall, the Cartana Mall area, been dormant for 10, 20 years, 15 years. That should not happen. So we're going to address the problems, taking it from an individual perspective for each district, involve the voters in the decision-making process. We hope to partner with Exxon along with Baton Rouge Community College to develop job training opportunities and assist with the Baton Rouge apparatus that's already in place. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm trying to stick to our commitment for time. So I wanted to let you give a quick closing, and by quick I mean 30 seconds to a minute. We do have 10 candidates, 11 candidates on here. So I want to make sure that we can end close to as time and as possible. This is being recorded. Just want to remind you again, so employees will be able to view this that were not able to attend today. I'll start with Mr. Snyder. A quick closing, please.
Great. So yeah, my name is Jonathan Snyder. Like I said earlier, I'm a candidate for Metro Council of District 11. And when people talk about politics, I think so many people expect changes to come from a governmental level. And I think that's great. But really, if we're going to see progress made in East Baton Rouge territory, anywhere for that matter, it really will come down to you and I, each person, getting outside of our bubble, getting outside of our district, and meeting people where they're at. So many times we like to throw around statistics of this and that, and these people have issues and those people have issues. But whenever we look down at it, it comes down to every person has a name, a story, and have a face, And so whenever we get down to we're trying to help East Baton Rouge Parish move forward, it really comes down to each one of us doing their part. I'm going to do my part as councilman, but it's really going to be each person in the community saying, hey, how can I help my neighbor? I keep saying this, but a lot of it comes down to efficiency in our budget. And, that's kind of my expertise. I am big on efficiency. And so that's my hope, is that you'd elect me, and then I can look at the budget and help us get efficient on that front. But then again, it's gonna come down to you and I doing our part and making a difference in our community.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Next up, Mr. Dunn.
Yes. Again, Cleve Dunn, Jr., candidate for Metro Council District 6. Listen, all of us here on this call have push cards with platforms. All of us have talking points. And many of us are on the same page with many of the needs and the issues in our district and in our parish. So for me, campaigns and elections are not necessarily what's printed on the card. It's about what's in the individual. What will do they have? What desire do they have? What track record do they have of getting things done? What's in them to motivate them to not just take the push card and tell you what's on the push card, but implement what's on the push card, implement what your concerns are. And I urge you to look at our backgrounds, look at our track record, evaluate us as business people, as individuals, as stakeholders, as being engaged members of this community, and see who has the track record of getting things done, see who has the track record of being involved and bringing about positive change to East Baton Rouge Parish. I tell you that in District 6, I am that candidate. I solicit your prayers, I solicit your support, and I solicit your vote. Thank you for this time.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Ms. Nyman.
Thank you. Yes, 30 seconds to a minute. Let me just encourage you to go to my website and read about the issues there. And why don't we just set up another Zoom call for anybody who lives in District 12 who would like to meet me. I'd be happy to talk further and address those, specific concerns that you may have. So it's TanyaNyman.com. There's an email address there where you can reach out to me and other means to get in touch with me. Thank you very much. Metro Council District 12.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Ms. Collins.
All right, Dawn Shanae Collins, running for Metro Council District 6, number 109 on the ballot. My vision is not just to revive District 6 to the community that it was when I moved as a young mother with my children 16 years ago here, but to build back greater and be a beacon in East Baton Rouge Parish. I also have the proven track record of tangible results in my current service as a school board member. Again, millions of dollars in investment in programming and in infrastructure repairs. Dawn Shanae Collins, Metro Council District 6, number 109 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Ms. Tawana Smith. I think you're on mute. There you go.
Yes, I am Tawana Smith, and I plan on leading District 7. I have a passion for this district. My forefathers would be proud to know that I'm in care for what they worked so hard for. Neighbors taking care of neighbors. I have no hidden agendas. And with this district made me of what I am today, because it takes a village. It takes everyone. And just like I said, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, every voice in that district will be counted. Tawana Smith, number 120 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Smith. And our next Ms. Smith, Ms. Pamela Smith.
Hi, I'm Pamela Smith, a candidate for District 6. I plan to continue to identify and address issues and concerns around the often discussed divide within the city and parish of East Baton Rouge. I have, again, been doing the job for almost 12 years. I know the job. I know the constituents, and the constituents know me. And so I will continue to improve District 6. Again, my name is Pamela Smith, number 114 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Piper.
All right. Thank you so much for this forum. Thank you for the opportunity to let our voices and our individualizations among the candidates be heard, because we all are, fighting for our own causes. In District 8, I feel like I'm the candidate for the people. I tell people, Piper for the people. It's a new generation of leadership. District 8, number 122 on your ballot. Please, I would like your vote to all of the citizens, all the employees, and all of the citizens of District 8 if you're in my district. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson.
Thank you all for this opportunity to come to you in this form and fashion. I would just like to conclude by saying a vote for Jamie Robinson is a vote for serious change. A vote for me is a vote for a candidate or an elected official who will be available to you and who will constantly fight for you without folding. With your support, you will also have my unwavering support. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Sorry, thank you. Mr. Cole.
Thank you, Exxon. I want to thank all the candidates for participating today. Thank you for the opportunity. It is a duty and honor, a pleasure, and a responsibility to serve as the councilman for District 7, and I've had the joy of doing it for the last 4 years. Without commitment, we can never start, and without consistency, we can never finish. I am committed to the district. I'm committed to the city to do the work. I think over the last 25 years, whether it's been in education, as a teacher and a school leader with the schools we've worked with, we've been extremely successful educating children at high levels. And on the city council for the past 4 years, we've been extremely successful creating opportunities for people, whether it be through employment, whether it be through improved infrastructure, or whether it be through creating opportunities for us to do this work. We still have a lot of work to do. I mean, we still have a whole lot of work to do, but the only way we can learn to do the work is by actually doing the work. So with that being said, hopefully I can see you all at work. Lamont Cole, number 117 on the ballot.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Corey Smith? You should be unmuted.
Hello. And I'm not running for office, I'm for you and your family. As a teacher, I work and fought on the front line, you and your kids. The business consultant, I've helped many businesses owners start their business as well as nonprofits. As the chairman of Ash Academy, I've created numerous policies and procedures as well as balanced budgets. As councilman, I pledge to install accountability across the board all the time in every department of city parish government. I'm Corey Smith, number 113 on your ballot.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. And last but not least, Mr. Pitcher.
First of all, thank you guys for allowing us to participate in this forum. I am a 21-year resident of District 6, lifelong resident of Baton Rouge, been in the trenches leading with integrity and honesty and truthfulness for over 40 years. I have measurable, observable accomplishments without any type of scandal, any type of questions as far as my character is concerned. I welcome the opportunity to present my skills, my experience, and my loyalty to the district. And I ask for your vote. Reginald Pitcher, number 112 on your ballot.
Thank you, Mr. Pitcher. Well, this concludes our forum. So on behalf of ExxonMobil, our employees and contractors, we thank all of you candidates who took time out of your day-to-day to be with us and to answer, some how you stand and some questions that we had. I'm very grateful you could take time out of your day-to-day to attend. Like I said earlier, we have recorded this session, so all of our employees and contractors will be able to view this internally. So they'll be able to get insight on you as a candidate. And that concludes our forum. So we hope everyone has a wonderful day and good luck.